You've seen this pattern in the NBA so many times where the other team's kind of star player or player that has the ball a lot, and there can be an adjustment early. It seems like you guys started to figure out a little bit better in the second half. What did you see as you improved overall as a team?
Yeah, I mean, they played exceptional basketball in the first half, and we knew we was going to get their best shot, especially after the kind of the playoff type of format. Team always make the adjustments coming to the next game, better prepared. So I think it's just in the second half we started to crack the code a little bit. Was able to get the lead down in the third. They kind of broke away a little bit again, but we just kept after it and was able to have a great fourth quarter.
The Lakers only got 11 losses this season, which doesn't sound too bad until you see how they're losing. Every single one of their December losses came by double digits. That's wild for a team stacked with LeBron James and Luka Doncic, two of the smoothest offensive machines the NBA has ever witnessed. A squad like that should be dropping buckets on anyone, anytime, yet something feels completely off. For all the fireworks they bring on offense, their biggest issue is clear. They can't outrun their own defense, a defense that not only struggles to get stops, but sometimes doesn't even look interested in trying. On paper, the Lakers look like a strong team. Luka Doncic is balling out on an MVP level, no debate there. Before his injury, Austin Reeves was shining like an all-star himself. And here's the craziest part. Even though the full roster's only been together for 2 games this season, they've still managed to win about 2/3 of their matchups. Something's clearly clicking, but something's also seriously broken. The Lakers' record looks solid and their highlights could fill a whole mixtape, but beneath all that shine lies a problem so deep it was never a matter of if things would fall apart, only when. And by December, the crock started showing loud and clear. After a hot start to the 2025-26 season, the final month of the year hit the Lakers like a cold slap of reality. December wasn't just a slump, it was the sound of the wheels shaking loose. You could feel the tension, like everyone knew those wheels might just fly off at any moment. The Lakers went 5-7 in December, dropping 4 of their last 5 games, and every single loss that month by double digits. That's not bad luck, that's a breakdown in real time. Over those 12 games, they got outscored by a brutal 94 points overall. And then came the Christmas Day disaster, a 23-point beatdown by the Rockets on national TV. The whole world watching one of the NBA's biggest stages, and the Lakers just got exposed. It wasn't just another loss, it was a full-on wake-up call. Their flaws were laid bare for everyone to see, so much that even their head coach stopped pretending everything was fine. The truth's simple but harsh. This team was built to run through opponents with a high-powered offense led by Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, and LeBron James. But when the shots stop falling and the defense won't hold up, even star power can't save them. The Lakers were once built on a slick mix, explosive offense paired with a scrappy defense that could lock in just enough when the game got tight. But as the seasons dragged on, that whole formula's fallen to pieces. The defense has completely collapsed, and the offense hasn't been steady enough to bail them out, especially with injuries constantly shuffling players in and out of the lineup. It's chaos, plain and simple. What once looked like a real contender is now starting to look fragile, like the whole thing could fall apart at any second. December made that reality impossible to ignore. The numbers tell the story loud and clear. The Lakers' defense has sunk to a 118.5 rating, ranking 25th in the NBA, while their offense still shines in the top 7 at 117.1. Yeah, they can outscore nearly anyone, but they can't stop anyone. And here's the scary part. That gap isn't shrinking, it's getting worse. In December alone, their defense dropped to 29th in the entire league. Out of their 5 wins that month, 4 came by single digits, barely hanging on. But every one of their 7 losses, total blowouts, all by double digits. It's like the Lakers can throw punches but can't take any. There was no cushion, no safety net for the Lakers. When things went bad, they went bad fast. December was a disaster zone for them, with the team giving up a wild 120.3 points per game. And it didn't stop there. Their ball movement fell apart too, rocking one of the worst assist-to-turnover ratios in the entire league at 1.53, another bottom 5 mark that screamed trouble. Those sloppy turnovers didn't just hurt, they turned straight into buckets for the other side. The Lakers allowed a brutal 20.3 opponent points off turnovers per game. And the biggest reason? Their transition defense was nowhere to be found.
How's he been a benefit to the team, especially because you guys were kind of going through a doldrums at the end of December?
We need his ability to, score at bunches at times, obviously, with, AR and Rui, Gabe out, obviously, that's a lot of points, especially from AR and Rui. So, to have that, that step up, from Jake has been, we've needed it, obviously, and he's just playing with a lot of confidence, and we need him to continue that.
Opposing teams were sprinting down the court like it was a track meet, averaging 18.3 fast break points per game against them in December. Yep, another bottom 5 stat. Missed shots, lazy passes, slow rotations, it was open season against the Lakers. And when the defense fell apart, even the offense started slipping too. Their offensive rating dropped to 115.3, landing them right in the middle of the pack at 15th in the league. Still decent, sure, but nowhere near good enough to cover up that defensive mess. At this point, you can't call this a team just going through a slump. They're looking like a good squad that's completely lost its edge. Right now, the Lakers are playing like a one-dimensional squad, living and dying by their offense. And with a defense this shaky, it's causing even bigger headaches across the board. Los Angeles now sits among the leaders in 20-point losses, grouped with teams fighting for lottery odds. That's not the company they're supposed to keep. The craziest part? They've only lost 11 games total, but when they do lose, it's never close. It's ugly. That collapsing defense has started shaping a new and alarming identity for this team. The Lakers have turned into a squad that bullies weak opponents but crumbles against real competition. Here's the breakdown. They're 13-3 against teams under 500, but just 7-8 against teams over 500. That split says it all. When the talent on the other side drops off, the Lakers shine like contenders. But the moment a team punches back, plays faster, gets physical, Los Angeles folds under the pressure. Watching them take on strong teams this season feels like watching a rerun you already know the ending to. You can almost call it. The game starts tight, momentum swings, then suddenly the Lakers lose control and the scoreboard gets ugly. By the final buzzer, the opponent's youth and speed make the Lakers look slow, tired, and outmatched. It's becoming their pattern. Domination one night, disaster the next. The Lakers have been stuck playing out the same tired script in nearly every loss this season. The most recent example, their final game of 2025 against the Pistons, and once again, nothing changed. The Lakers trailed for most of the night and got smoked 128-106. That one marked their 6th loss by 20 or more points this season, and the 5th time it happened against a team sitting over 500. When that kind of pattern keeps showing up, you don't need a rocket scientist to see what's wrong. If this team really wants to chase a championship in the 2025-26 season, their defense has to look nothing like what we're seeing right now. And the one person making that fact crystal clear? Head coach JJ Redick. He's been brutally honest about the team's issues, not just whispering behind closed doors, but saying it loud and clear for everyone to hear. When you actually listen to what Redick has been saying in his interviews, it's obvious. This isn't just about bad schemes or missing pieces on the roster. It's something deeper, something worse. Redick's only in his 2nd year as a head coach, and most young coaches would still be playing it safe, choosing their words carefully, protecting players, and building quiet trust in the locker room. But JJ, he's tossed that whole rulebook straight out the window. He doesn't sugarcoat, he doesn't spin, and he's not hiding his frustration. When Redick talks after a game, he says exactly what he feels. And lately, his tone says it all. This team's got serious issues, and he's done pretending otherwise. JJ Redick's post-game interviews have turned into must-watch TV, not because he's throwing tantrums, but because he's telling the raw truth. After another double-digit loss, he didn't even try to spin it. Redick flat out said the team's effort on defense was unacceptable and that some players just aren't competing like they should be. That's a bold statement from a coach in year 2, but he's clearly fed up with watching the same mistakes play out night after night. In recent pressers, Redick's frustration has been palpable. He's talked about players not rotating, not talking on defense, and not playing with pride. It's the kind of honesty that cuts deep, especially in a locker room full of veterans who've seen it all. When a coach starts calling out intensity and focus, that's not about X's and O's anymore. That's about heart. And right now, this Lakers team looks like it's running low on that spark that makes great teams dig in when it matters most. LeBron James has tried to keep things steady, urging the team to stay locked in, while Luka Doncic has been pushing for more communication on the floor. But even with those voices, the energy doesn't seem to stick. You can feel it, the disconnect between what the stars say and what the team actually shows. And Redick's no fool. He sees it too. His patience is wearing thin, and his words sound like a warning shot. If the Lakers don't fix their defensive mindset fast, this season could turn from promising to painful real quick. By the start of January, the tension inside the Lakers locker room was impossible to ignore. Reports started leaking out that some players were frustrated with Redick's tough love approach, while others respected him for finally holding everyone accountable. Either way, the energy shifted. This wasn't just about basketball anymore, it was about pride and control. Sources close to the team said film sessions were getting heated, with Redick stopping clips mid-play to call out lazy rotations and missed assignments. One moment that caught attention came after the Christmas Day loss. Redick reportedly told his team, "If you don't want to defend, you don't deserve to play." That kind of message might sound harsh, but it's exactly the wake-up call this roster needed. The problem is, not everyone's taking it the same way. Some of the younger players have rallied behind Redick's intensity, saying it's pushing them to be sharper and hungrier. But for a few of the veterans, the vibe's been a little colder. They've been through wars, and constant criticism wears thin fast. Add in injuries and inconsistent lineups, and it's no surprise chemistry's been hard to find. Still, Redick isn't backing down. He's made it clear that effort will dictate minutes from here on out, no matter who you are or how big your contract is. That's a bold stance in a locker room with this much star power, and it's starting to make fans wonder, are the Lakers still united in chasing a title, or are the cracks widening faster than anyone wants to admit? By mid-January, the Lakers' struggles had turned into a full-blown storyline across the league. Every sports show was talking about it, how a team with LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves could look so lost on defense. Even opposing players started whispering that facing the Lakers felt easy lately, because you could tell they weren't connected on that end. That kind of talk doesn't just sting, it hits the team's pride right where it hurts. During one post-game conference after another tough loss, Redick didn't hold back. He said, "We can't keep pretending we're fine. We're not." That honesty went viral fast, sparking debates online about whether his blunt approach was motivating or dividing the locker room. But the truth, Redick's words matched what fans were already seeing. Too many blown coverages, too many slow rotations, and not nearly enough fight. LeBron, even at his age, has been doing everything to keep the group focused, speaking up in huddles, clapping for teammates, trying to spark some life. Luka, meanwhile, continues to put up monster numbers, but he's been visibly frustrated after games, shaking his head as he walks off the court. The body language says it all. This team is tired of talking about effort. And while the Lakers still sit in a decent playoff spot, everyone can sense it. Something's off. The chemistry's uneven, the defense is broken, and the frustration's starting to spill over. If they can't turn it around soon, this might not just be a rough patch, it could be the breaking point of their season.
You guys, JJ told us pregame that you guys have simplified the playbook a little bit, specifically the offense with all the injuries and different things like that. Just in a general sense, how good has this team been at the quote-unquote simple things?
Well, I mean, in order to win and at the highest level, you have to be able to do the simple things. You have to be able to execute after timeouts, dead balls. You have to execute coming out of the locker room. You have to have a game plan, execute that. So you can't execute the big things if you don't execute the small things, and play winning basketball from that standpoint. So we've been able to do that lately.
By late January, the Lakers' situation had gone from concerning to straight-up chaotic. Every game felt like a test of patience. One night they'd look unstoppable, the next they'd collapse like a house of cards. The inconsistency was driving fans crazy, and the noise around the team just kept getting louder. Every analyst had an opinion, every headline screamed about the Lakers' identity crisis, and even inside the locker room, you could feel the tension boiling over. Sources around the team say film sessions have gotten even sharper, Redick's tone colder, the questions tougher. Players have been seen walking out frustrated, heads down, barely speaking. The pressure's building, and it's starting to show on the court too. Missed rotations, bad switches, and breakdowns that just shouldn't happen at this level. It's like every time the Lakers fix one leak, another one bursts open. LeBron's leadership is being tested like never before. He's been through it all, championships, rebuilds, locker room drama, but even he can't mask the frustration forever. Luka keeps putting up wild stat lines, but you can tell he's running on fumes trying to carry both the scoring and the playmaking. Now, whispers around the league are growing louder. Can JJ Redick actually hold this team together, or has he lost the locker room? Because right now, the Lakers don't just look beat on defense, they look beat mentally. And unless something changes fast, this could spiral into a season the team will want to forget. As February rolled in, it felt like the Lakers were standing at a crossroads, one path leading toward redemption, the other toward complete collapse. Every possession suddenly mattered more, every timeout felt heavier, and JJ Redick's every word carried tension. The Lakers knew they couldn't keep playing with this split personality, one team when things are easy, a completely different one when it's time to grind. Reports say Redick called a closed-door meeting before a crucial homestretch, demanding accountability from everyone. No exceptions, no excuses. Players were told to speak up, air out frustrations, and reset the energy before it was too late. Insiders described the meeting as intense but necessary, with LeBron and Luka both stepping up, LeBron urging the team to get back to playing with purpose, while Luka admitted that trust on defense just wasn't there. That kind of honesty might sting, but it's the only way a locker room heals. And something started to shift, at least a little. In the next few games, the Lakers showed flashes of life, diving for loose balls, clamping down on defense, playing like they actually cared. The spark wasn't consistent yet, but it was a sign of fight. Still, nobody's fooled. One strong week doesn't fix months of broken habits. Redick's challenge now is to turn that moment of unity into something real and lasting. Because if the Lakers can't keep that fire burning, the same old script will come roaring back. And this time, it might not end with just a few bad losses. By the time March arrived, the Lakers' situation felt like it was hanging by a thread. But for the first time in months, there was a pulse. JJ Redick's tough love was finally starting to sink in, and the players looked like they were actually buying in again. The defense wasn't perfect, but it had fight. Hands were up, rotations sharper, and the energy felt real. You could see it in every timeout huddle, every fast break. This team was finally playing like they had something to prove. LeBron, ever the leader, turned up his intensity on both ends, setting the tone for the young guys. Luka Doncic started trusting his teammates more, feeding open shooters instead of forcing the hero plays. Even Austin Reeves looked like his old self again, scrapping for rebounds and hustling on defense. For the first time in months, Laker fans could actually believe again. Maybe this story wasn't over just yet. But make no mistake, this redemption arc is far from finished. The Lakers still have a long way to go if they want to turn things around and make a serious run. They've seen how ugly it can get, and now they've got to prove they've learned from it. The season's not done, the fight's not over, and every game from here on out will define who this team really is. If you're loving this breakdown and want to see how the rest of this Lakers story unfolds, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, share this video, and drop a comment below. Let's talk. Can the Lakers still save their season, or is this just the calm before the storm?